Morning, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you're all well. Jesse on fire, 596,000 subscribers. He gets on my nerves, to be honest. Sometimes Jesse on fire, kind of like big-headed, semi like narcissistic. Fucking, it's like this here. At one point, he claims he's cracked it when it's not him at all. That's cracked it. There's a guy here who's fucking done all the experiments. You know what I mean? So Jesse on fire anyhow, but good. He's got a lot of subscribers and he's spreading the word, which is good. But I don't know. He's trying to blow smoke up his own ass half the time, and yeah, he's like, tell me I've cracked it at one point, and he hasn't cracked it at all. There's a fella here who done a load of fucking experiments with fucking actual blood packs, etc. So yeah, just fucking. He wants the limelight. He wants the glory, but it's not necessarily his. So the video, anyhow. I know how they did it. Charlie Kirk is really alive. I think. I mean, what did I think? The Manufacture Martyr Part Two. So there's a Part One of this as well. I mean, it's half an hour long. I won't play it all. I'll play the start of it, and again, he puts it. It's a good case, to be honest. A very good case. That Charlie Kirk could be alive. It was all Hollywood. In effect, again, this is why Erica Kirk hasn't mourned because nobody died, and it probably wasn't her husband. We're all just being completely played here. In some sort of massive psyop that's ultimately probably going to end in World War Three, and it is in effect just galvanizing people to fight for a cause, because you need people to fight for a cause. If you have a war, you kind of need people to fight your war if you have a war. So the will to fight, absolutely massive, absolutely massive. So this whole MAGA thing is probably just galvanizing people for war. I could be wrong. There could be bigger fish at play here. There could be another agenda, but that's kind of what I'm seeing. So yeah, it's the whole left-right thing, but again, it's the Epstein files have pretty much proved there is no left and right at the top. That's something they use on us. Divide, rule, conquer. So yeah, again, psyop, psyop. I mean, I believe this woman gone missing, the mother of the reporter. Total psyop for me. Like, something's coming out of that, but I don't trust that. That sets off my spidey sense as well, much like the Charlie Kirk thing did. But you got to go with your gut. Always go with your gut. It's very rarely wrong, to be honest. It's very rarely wrong. So yeah, go with your gut. So somebody will come out with that Guthrie thing again when it all plays out. People will come forth with picking out what exactly has happened here. There'll be numerology involved, I would imagine. Um, yeah. So another cracky is Charlie Kirk could be alive. And there's a good argument for it. I know it maybe sound far fetched, all conspiracy theory and all this kind of bullshit, but yeah, it's again, there's a good argument here. So I'll play the video. Hold on.
Point, he did everything right. He was one of the only guys that watching. I'm like, okay, he looks scared, but I can't unsee that. I can't do it, man. I can't unsee that face right there. That does not, to me, appear to be a person who is actually afraid. This looks to me like a person who never in a million years thought that they would have someone zooming in on their face as they were doing the thing that they rehearsed 1,000 times at Fort Huachuca. Okay, so a really quick warning on the front end of this episode. This was intended to be episode 3, but now it's episode 2. In this one, we are going to be going through the how. And what that means is there are going to be some blood effects. We're going to be demonstrating some prosthetics, some stuff that is going to look pretty gory. You will know it's not real in many cases, but we also are going to have to look at the actual incident itself a couple times. So if you're super sensitive to that stuff, this is probably not the episode for you. And
Yeah, I mean it's not real. I mean you're just watching like Hollywood here. You really are. It's kind of again he gets to it, and there's something wrong with Charlie's neck, and it was never enough to um. It's the words I'm looking for. It's again. It's well. We'll get to it. We'll get to it. Hold on.
but if you're interested in what happened here, and you're curious why there's no exit wound from the 30-06 and you're willing to entertain what will probably sound like wild conspiracy theories before you watch, this is probably going to be a very informative and earth-shattering video for you. All right. Well, like we start all of these out, there are no statements of facts in this video whatsoever. We are just exploring a thought exercise about whether or not Charlie Kirk may have juked this thing and faked his death along with a bunch of conspirators. Now, of course, if you have not watched episode 1, you need to go back and watch episode 1 first. It is called I Think Charlie Kirk's Alive. The cover will say The Manufactured Martyr. You'll be able to find it in my videos. There'll be a link in the description also.
Yeah. So there's another video as well if you want to. Jesse on Fire's the channel. Again, it's hard to keep up with everything that's going on. I'm massively keeping an eye on the Epstein files, to be honest, because more and more depraved, sick shit keeps coming out each day, to be honest. And more people involved, again, celebrities, politicians, royalty, you name it, sultans, fucking, you name it, they're in there. A massive cabal, upper echelon network, paedophile, sex trafficking ring that ultimately runs the world and has plans for the world that doesn't suit us very well. So kind of why we need to stop them, because they're all paedophile wankers, Satanists, and it won't go well for us. But anyhow, this is kind of part of the whole big plan as well, to be honest. The whole Charlie Kirk affair is massively part of this whole agenda. Why it's such big news, and again, everything that's happening, the Super Bowl there, and them doing their own Super Bowl halftime show, etc. If everybody's seen that crack. What I found quite funny, actually, was Green Day. Green Day played at the Super Bowl. I think it was this one just gone. I'm not sure. I watched a video of the Green Day at the Super Bowl. I don't know if it was maybe last year, but I thought it looked like this year anyway. And they sang all the songs. They sang Holiday, American Idiot, Never, fucking Boulevard of Broken Dreams. I mean, the general public are fucking retarded, you know what I mean? They're literally on the stage singing American Idiot at all the American idiots. They're all singing a lot, and nobody has a fucking clue that we're talking about you. You are the American idiots, the nation controlled by the media. Hello, television dreams of tomorrow. You are the American idiots. And they're all singing along there. Not one of them in about 100,000 people has a fucking clue. So, yeah, American idiots. It's actually worse in Britain, to be honest. Some of the cleverest people on the agenda are in America, again, with all the gematria and the numerology, etc. Americans, not English people. The Americans are, in effect, well, what I've seen in many, many, many years, the Americans are cleverer than the English when it comes to figuring all this shit out. They really are. It's worse in England than it is in America, I would imagine, for how many fucking zombies we've got here. So, I mean, you kind of see it with the whole, even on the immigration issue, and how many people have fucking got their head in the sand there. And they're the ultimate sleepers, do you know what I mean? There's levels of sort of waking up, and the first level, you don't even have to have woke up to have realised Britain's in peril here in many, many ways. Rapes are going through the fucking roof. And it's not a great place to live, and everybody's just cracking on like there's nothing happening. Again, many of us have been down to protests about the migrants, etc., and the Tommy Robinson thing, and I went to the one in Manchester as well. Britain was Britain for no, was it Britain for no UKIP maybe, I can't remember. Britain First maybe. Anyway, all the people that have been out protesting, I mean, they've got a level of intelligence here. They've seen that things aren't quite well here, you know what I mean? But all the people who haven't and just sit at home watching fucking football and X Factor, well, these people are retarded, you know what I mean? These people these are the American idiots of which Green Day sang, you know what I mean? But they're just in Britain. Don't let geography exclude you from the idiocy here, because it definitely hasn't. It definitely hasn't. So yeah, I thought that was quite funny. And yeah, on Green Day on the Super Bowl, singing all the songs about the truth, and all the people in the audience singing along, but didn't have a single fucking clue what was happening. Brilliant, brilliant. That's why we call you zombies. So we'll crack on here anyway. So he's got another video, number one, if you want to go and watch that. I'm just going to play this because it goes on about like the blood pack, and somebody actually does like a blood pack experiment. We'll move it forward because Jesse waffles, you know what I mean. We'll move it to here. So right, we'll go from here. Probably get an advert.
I'm going to show you guys that exact clip from another angle that has a lot to do with what we're talking about.
This is the battery for the DJI Mic 2 transmitter that was underneath Charlie's shirt. This is an 8-gram, 300 mAh battery that's unique in that it's very easy to swap. A 2-gram charge of PETN would match the power of a 30-06 and leave 75% of the battery functional, undetectable. That's what he's saying. This is what he's saying. You can see the shock wave travel from the DJI mic outward. His neck and ears quake with the force, and his earpiece flies up as his body is slightly lifted from the explosion. His shirt deform.
Yeah, I mean, even here, it doesn't look like his neck, and the image is real blurry as well. It doesn't look like his neck's quite right, even on that image.
Show a directed blast across his chest with the wave peeking around his neck. So the blast comes from here, and it's aimed this way, and you see his whole shirt come up, as if there's a blast underneath the shirt.
As if there's a blast underneath the shirt. Mm-hmm. Just like that, actually.
So let's watch. So you see that, right?
Yes.
Wow.
It's like this strange ripple through his shirt.
You see that, right? So his whole shirt goes up, and then it goes up here. So it's also a very, very compelling argument that it was his microphone pack underneath his shirt.
Again, this is all assuming that we are trying to solve the same mystery. How Charlie was killed, or how Charlie and his team made it look like he was killed, okay? So now I want to show you this little number, okay? So this is, of course, a very talented makeup and effects artist named Mike Makash, who is an Emmy Award-winning makeup effects artist. And let me just show you why we're watching this right here, because again, we are trying to recreate how they would have done this to demonstrate whether or not it's possible.
I'm Mike McCash, and this is Stan Winston's School of Character Arts. Welcome to my course, Blood Effects, Rig, Apply, and Shoot. Blood effects are used in a variety of type of shows. In this course, the techniques that I will be showing are not just for professionals. I mean, we've started with the basic of the basic things like a syringe, all the way up to, highly tricky pressure pots. So it's good for the hobby.
Yeah, so he's gonna show you here how it's done again, and again, think of the money behind TPSU.
And it's good for the pro alike. Okay, here's what we're going to cover in today's course. Starting out with materials and equipment. We're also going to discuss bladder types and construction from start to finish. We're going to do a full application in today's course, and we're going to talk about flow of blood versus spraying blood. Once application is complete, we're going to go over actor direction and everything that leads up to the bleeding. And finally, we're going to act out the death scene or the blood gag so you can all see it. Why I love blood effects is because it's the one thing you can do on set that everybody on the crew looks forward to. It's that on-set stress that it's probably the highest amount of stress you're going to feel on set, but when you do it and it comes out correct and you get a standing ovation, or even one person clapping in the background, you feel like you've done something great.
This seems like the right time for me to point out that I realize I have no chance of monetizing this video whatsoever, because I am actually showing what needs to be shown to show the audience what is what.
Yeah, he's got to subscribe to him. Do him a favor, subscribe. I mean, I even commented below here, you've nailed it, to be honest, but be careful, because they've went to a lot of trouble to do this psyop. They really have, you know what I mean? Yeah, they went to a real lot of trouble for this because ultimately, well, yeah, they faked somebody's death to the world. I mean, with the Epstein files coming out again, Epstein's alive by the looks of things here. Um, yeah, we're just being played from all angles. This is the thing. I mean, I would maybe put Tommy Robinson in there as well. He's kind of in the Epstein files mentioned as being a cheap person to pay for. Yeah, I think we're just getting played from every angle. Anybody who's kind of in the public light is, you know, again, we will control all revolutions against you. It was once said. That's how you keep control. You control the revolutions. And again, revolution means go around in a circle. So there you go. A revolution means go around in a circle and end up back where you started. So a revolution is not a revolution, is it? Or it is, but exactly what it says it is. You end up back where you started. So, yeah, again, you've seen there with the cut neck. I mean, that's just one prosthetic in a particular version. Obviously, that's like a slashed neck. We've had a gunshot here, but it's all possible. It's all possible. So I think there's a bit more here. Hold on.
A prosthetic neck that goes across the neck. Okay. It appears completely natural, appears part of the body, right? The only thing that you might be able to see is potentially a slight increase in the size of the neck.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to say now before he even shows you, because I've seen this before as well. Charlie Kirk's neck did look weird in some pictures, and he's going to show you the pictures now. But I've already seen these back in the day, and yeah, there is something wrong with his neck. Again, I think there's a very strong possibility for me that this is exactly what's happened. It's all prosthetics. They've faked his death. I don't know where Charlie is now. There is a possibility when they do these things that Charlie could have plastic surgery and be made to look slightly different so that he can go on living a life in the general public. Or the other option is he's just been took away to some fancy island here. Or like Epstein, you just go and hide him somewhere. I don't know. I don't know. But again, it would explain a lot this. Again, how Erica Kirk was in no way bothered at all that her husband had just been fucking shot. Not for 1 minute has she really been bothered by anyone's standards. It's all fake tears, etc. Yeah, and all the background of Erica Kirk. She's nowhere at all Charlie Kirk's perfect wife in any way, shape, or form, from what we've learned from her history. So they've kind of fucked this up in a way. They've done well. They're done very well, to be honest. I mean, most of the world believes this. That's the side of it. So they're done quite well. But anybody paying attention, again, it's a completely different kettle of fish. The general zombies and the people who are paying attention, whole world apart here. So yeah, if the zombies, I mean, but it's all for the zombies, you know what I mean? It's primarily for the zombies, the general public, the majority. The people will see through. So I mean, look at the JFK thing. People still question that fucking 60 years later or whatever. So they know that some people might see, but as long as the majority don't see, then that's good enough for them. So they've done quite well, but not well enough. Because again, and the thing is, once people like us get an inkling that there's something fucking wrong here, and we know there's something wrong, people don't give up. You know what I mean? We don't give up. Well, people will keep looking until they figure out what the fuck's going on here. And I think they've nailed it, to be honest. I think they've absolutely nailed it. It's prosthetics again. It's why if you've looked into this from the start, like I have, and like a lot of the close followers have here, it's always been a bit of a shit show from the very beginning. You kind of like day 3 after the dust settled, and we had obviously respect because we thought someone had been shot and murdered in public. After sort of day 3 and the dust settled, that's when the questions started getting asked. Really, real early on here, there was questions being asked. This doesn't quite fit. And then Erica Kirk wasn't acting correctly, and it's all kind of went from there, and we've ended up here. And again, I think these lot have cracked it. To be honest, I think these lot have cracked it. We haven't cracked the where is Charlie Kirk and what's he up to now. side of things. That hasn't been cracked. But yeah, there's a good, again, we'll play a bit more, but for me, there's a good argument here that the man is still alive. And it would explain a lot.
Maybe if you were going to do it on one side, you might notice that that was the case. But it is literally a false prosthetic neck that is put over someone else's neck with the blood effect built into it. Okay. And so if you're going to do this, you have to have that in place in advance. Now, on an unrelated side note, except totally related, Charles McClinton Wilson is a very talented documentarian and a very talented photographer. What did you just say, Jesse on Fire? You are not a very talented photographer. And he had a bunch of images from that day at UVU. And thank you to the fair use law. There's no copyright on me showing this because I'm giving commentary. And so right out of the gate, the one that jumps right off the page is that one. And I showed you what website it's on, just so you know I did not doctor this. That seems to be the side of the neck that Charlie was shot on. And unless...
Yeah, definitely the side he was shot on. Again, I've seen this picture, and again, I kind of... You double-taked it, and you thought, what's going on? But because the prosthetic is so... what's the words I'm looking for? So realistic, and it obviously matches skin color perfectly, and there's no real signs of where it's joining here, although it does look a bit dodgy down here as well. All of it, yeah. Again, he's got a case for me. Again, there is definitely something weird looking about his neck in the area where he was shot. Could it be a blood pack? It does look bulgy. Yeah, again, and the whole neck area does look a bit dodgy, but because these prosthetics in 2025, 2026 are so good and lifelike and real looking, again, Hollywood, etc., we've seen the guy there with the slashed neck. Because it's so good, even though you sort of double take what's going on with his neck there, you have to forget about it because ultimately it looks like his neck. And that's kind of in your mind. You were like, oh, it looks a bit weird, but it's just his neck. But no, these prosthetics, yeah, they look real lifelike here and match the skin color perfectly. So I think there's a good argument for this. I really do. Again, what's wrong with his neck there exactly? Again, if you look at his facial features here, he's not exactly like gurning to one side. He's just grinning. There is something wrong with his neck. We'll see if there's more.
I am confused. That does look like there is a big part of the neck that is, I don't know, looks kind of big. You know what I mean? But we can do this together. Okay. We can do this all together. Am I seeing things? Or does the side of his neck where he's going to get shot appear to be extremely swollen? I mean, look at this. Look at that jawline. It doesn't exist. It straight up does not exist. It is so swollen on that side. Now look at this though. On the other side, very strong jawline. No indication of a grapefruit under his skin. Look at them compared. There seems to be something over there, but only on one side.
Yeah, I'll go and move that over. Yeah, again, definitely looks like there's something there underneath the skin. But again, these prosthetics are so realistic these days, and they're not going to fuck this up by not matching the skin color. You know what I mean? That's job number one. To be honest, we got to get the skin color to match here so that people can't tell that there's something there. And again, to look at it, we can't, but we can in another way because there's clearly a bulge under there. So, I mean, I think there's a real good argument for this, to be honest.
And that happens to be the side that he is going to get shot in. Last one, look at how strong his jawline is on the left picture.
Yeah, and depending if he's got his head, like he's lifting his head up here, so he's not compacting whatever's in his neck. When his head's further down, there's less room and he kind of compacts it and it bulges up a little bit. But here, when he's got his head up slightly, he's got a little more room and it's not as prominent, but still sort of something there. But again, he's looking up. The minute he kind of looks down or straight, it kind of starts to bulge up.
On the right, there very much seems to be something different over there.
I mean, there is a line here as well. There's clearly, I mean, there is there as well underneath. There's a line there. I don't know if anyone can see that, but there's clearly a line right along here that kind of stops there, and then it looks like there's a line all the way right round there. Now that could be that one's a lot less prominent than this one, but yeah, there's a definite line right to there. I don't know if everyone can see that. So I think there's a very good argument for this.
Now, adding a couple more to demonstrate that on another day, his neck looks normal. Every single other day that I looked at, his neck looks normal, except for 9/10. See? On the right side, where he is going to be getting shot, it's normal every other day. And then when you compare it here, on the left side, totally normal. And it's not one picture, it's all of the pictures. Every single.
Yeah, bulge, massive bulge, massive bulge. I'll just move this down a minute. Yeah, and again, on the one he's looking up, not so much a bulge, but we can see a definite line here. Could that be where the prosthetic is joining or something? Or it could, well, again, we need sort of a wire for the blood to pump in. But I don't know, there's a very, this one is ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous, and I'd seen that one before. But again, because it looks so much like his skin, you kind of have to just forget about it and think fair dues. He's who knows, but it just looks like his neck to me. But yeah, the minute we're talking prosthetics here, and again, Hollywood style prosthetics, TPSU having millions and millions and millions of dollars. Yeah, I think honestly, you've got a real good argument here for this. So we move on. There's a guy going to speak about this here. This man, we'll have a laugh play of this. Hold on.
I streamed the other night that was you that super chatted me. I apologize. I didn't even see it until I was rewatching it. I would have obviously pointed everyone in the direction of your channels. So Jordan Henshaw has been saying from the very beginning that Charlie faked his death. He's done tons of stuff on this. That's a lot of it has focused on the functional way, like how would he have done it? And I highly encourage you guys to go take a look at that. But here's an example. We're actually going to be looking at two things that he did. Okay, two things that he did. This is the first one. Then we're going to be looking at the under the shirt explosion in addition to this. Okay, so now I'll watch this.
I have a blood gag that I did. I'm going to show that now. And just to be clear, before I show this clip, I want to be very clear about why I'm showing you this clip. I'm showing you this clip to show that just because there's blood pouring, gushing out of Charlie Kirk's neck, that doesn't necessarily mean that it's real blood. That's the point of the next clip. If I can set up this gag and have it somewhat sort of kind of passable, albeit with like green blood that's intentionally green to make it out like blood. The point is, just because you see all this wrong side, just because you see all this blood gushing out of his neck does not mean that that red liquid is actually blood. It's not hard to fake that at all. That's the purpose of the next clip. This is not in any way mocking anything. This is not meant to make light of anything. It's just trying to show you how easy it is to reproduce sort of kind of what we saw coming out of Charlie Kirk's neck. The only missing piece is someone else operating the valve in good time and the prosthetic.
And if someone was working the valve, you would need some type of equipment that would be there near him, under him, so on and so forth, that would probably appear a little bit out of place or in disguise, right? In the event that that's what was going to happen during the Charlie thing.
What I've done is I have decreased the diameter of the hose. Yesterday, I was using this hose, but now I'm using this super tiny hose. So that'll help you conceal it in the shirt without it being seen. And the idea is that it will give you more power.
I want you guys to take a look at that hose right there. Okay. How big is that hose? Just look at the size of that hose and burn it into your brain.
Mike McAsh was basically there, I think. We have his voice, we have his face, we have his beard, and we have his beard, and we have a little thing on Charlie's back, a little indentation that looks exactly like the connection between the blood bladder and the hose and the air pressure hose in the exact same spot as it is in his tutorial online.
Look at that. Look at that. Okay. Now, I have not gotten into this yet because I can't prove who this is, but this right here is supposedly Butch Hibbs. Okay. Except I think most people agree that is not Butch Hibbs. Butch Hibbs is different. We're going to get into that later, but okay, look at this is in the example that he gave. Okay, this is the connection that's going to go to the blood bladder, that's going to get pumped through when it's necessary. This is a photograph of Charlie, okay, that day. And that's not the last time we're going to be looking at hoses on him, I don't think. Now, here's another test that Jordan Hensaw did to try to recreate the initial impact. Check this out. Now, obviously, the rig that Charlie was using, if that is what was happening, is significantly stronger than the one that Jordan's using, because this is like the stakes of this working are on opposite ends of the universe. But this is similar enough that you got to admit, like, he's rigging this up with a paintball gun. Okay, he's doing this in his house by himself, right?
Yeah, again, you've got to realize how much money TPSU have got as well. You're talking millions or hundreds of millions of dollars, so they can have the best of the best here. You know what I mean? This guy's just reproducing it in his bedroom, as Jesse said there. So take that into consideration. Again, think how much money TPSU have, and this is a big psyop. It's, you know what I mean? It's a big psyop here. So they kind of use the best equipment. But there's holes in it. There's always been holes in it. They've seen everything there with Charlie's neck. I think there's a good argument for all this, to be honest. Again, the one big question I would suppose is, where is Charlie Kirk? Would be the question. I mean, is he even called Charlie Kirk? Really? You know what I mean? Yeah, so that would be the big question. Where is Charlie Kirk? But just because we don't know the answer to that doesn't mean that this isn't true. You know what I mean? The fact that we don't know where he is, well, they're not going to tell us where he is if they've faked his death, are they? You know what I mean? So, I'll carry on again. It kind of shows you the full thing, and then with the blood as well, and it's quite a good recreation for a lad who's done it in his bedroom and doesn't have millions of dollars.
Look at that. Look at that, dude. I mean, that is just that one right there. Now, we are going to close this out with three things that we're going to look at real quick. Okay. So this is 10 minutes before the shot is taken. Okay. I'm going to resize this a little bit so you can see the whole entire thing. Okay. 10 minutes before the shot is taken.
We're taking this country back, everybody. I'll tell you what.
The squib is the hose and the squib are underneath his shirt, where everybody thought that the microphone was. In my theory, not a statement of fact, but in my theory, what you are looking at right here is a hose and a squib, and you can actually even see, you'll be able to see it in a second. Watch this.
Let's get started. God bless Utah. Yes, sir.
Look at that. Does that look like a microphone, guys?
Yeah. So, again, there's a part one to this. And And there's another 12 minutes left on this video. I'm not going to play it all. Go and watch it on Jesse on Fire if you want to watch it. But in what I've showed you, I think they put forward a pretty good case, and there's more to it. And again, there's all the Erica Kirk stuff, etc., etc. The world's a stage, so it's one of them. You just sit where you want, as always. I'm going to sit in the camp of Charlie Kirk's probably still alive. This is a massive psyop. Again, the whole MAGA halftime Super Bowl, it's still going on. It's still continuing on as to this day. It's bigger than ever, to be honest. I don't think Charlie Kirk would have got anything to do with the Super Bowl halftime show. Like in who he was well known on college campuses, and he wasn't a world famous man in any way, shape or form. There was no way he would get anything to do with a halftime show, I wouldn't have thought, and rival the halftime show of the Super Bowl as Erica Kirk just tried to do, and I think she maybe won in a way. So the psyop's still very much going on here again, and this explains everything with Erica Kirk, the way she's acted, her history, everything. And again, how the security guards acted in the aftermath, everything. Kind of for me, this is the truth. That Charlie Kirk faked his death. He's still alive somewhere. I don't know where. I don't know the answer to that. But yeah, for me, he's faked his death here. TBSU faked his death. And it's all for the bigger picture. Again, this bigger picture is still taking shape as we speak, and will continue to do so in the future with Erica Kirk at the helm. So, yeah, faked his death for me anyway. I'll leave it there, peace.